Breaking news out of Connecticut. We now have a verdict against InfoWars founder Alex Jones. He has been ordered to pay nearly $1 billion in damages to Sandy Hook families for defamation. I think now we have a press conference. Let's listen to what some of the families are saying.
I couldn't be more proud to stand here and with all of these people, and I really miss my wife and daughters right now. They can't be here with me, but our lawyers helped give me the strength to finally find my voice and to fight and to stand up to what had been happening to me for so long, and for how I let my voice be taken away from me and my power be taken away from me at the expense of my daughter and at the expense of my family. So I have to thank them for helping me get the strength, and the families that I've been associated with for 10 years through this tragedy are the most beautiful people you'll ever encounter, and their children and their moms and their wives are the most beautiful people you could ever get to know. All I can really say is that I'm just proud that what we were able to accomplish was just to simply tell the truth. And it shouldn't be this hard, and it shouldn't be this scary. I shouldn't have to worry about what my daughters are going to go through when I tell them that it's best that they just tell the truth. Because that's all we did. Every day in that courtroom, we got up on the stand and we told the truth. Everybody that took the stand told the truth except for one. The one who proclaims that that's what he does. But while the truth was being said in the courtroom, he was standing right here lying. I can't express enough gratitude for their jury, not just because of their verdict, but for what they had to endure, what they had to listen to, for what they did in their lives, and that they just simply were able to take the truth that they heard and do an impossible job and render a verdict with it. No matter what it was, it didn't matter, because what we got out of it meant more than anything that anybody could ever give us. And honestly, for anybody that still chooses to listen to that man, just ask yourself, what has he ever given you? And compare that to whatever it is that he's taken from you. Do you still have your family members with you? Do they still believe in you and trust you? What have you ever gotten from him? And what has he taken from you too? Thank you for everything. Thank you.
My name is Erica, and I am the daughter of Don Lafferty Hochsprung, who is the principal of Sandy Hook Elementary School. And as I was upstairs testifying about the rape threats that were sent to me, Alex Jones was standing right here holding a press conference. After almost a decade of threats and messages from conspiracy theorists led by Jones, this is a moment years in the making. And in this big moment, like in every big moment, since the shooting, I wish I could just call my mom and tell her about it. I would tell her about the horror of watching Alex Jones hold court with the press outside right here. About the disappointment of so many news outlets who've known us since 12/14, run his words unfiltered. The heartbreak of reliving the shooting as so many families share stories of their slain loved ones. But I would also like to tell her about the bright spots. News station like NBC Connecticut refused to give a dangerous conspiracy theorist a platform throughout this trial, and I thank them. The jury bravely bore witness to our pain, sitting through hours upon hours of testimony that will never leave their minds. And then there were people who were by my side throughout this the trial, and Chris, Eleanor, Josh, Matt, and team. You guys were my guideposts and my shining lights throughout all of this. And I cannot thank you enough for your compassion, extreme expertise, and your friendship. I wish I could tell my mom about all of this. I wish I could tell her about so many things that have happened since she was murdered. Mostly that I'll never stop missing her. I wish that after today I could just be a daughter grieving my mother and stop worrying about conspiracy theorists sending me threats or worse. But I know that this is not the end of Alex Jones in my life. I know that his hate, lies, and conspiracy theories will follow both me and my family through the rest of our days. But I'm also hopeful for what happened here today, that it may save other families from high-profile tragedies, from the cycle of abuse and re-traumatization that we have all been put through as we simply try to survive the hardest days, weeks, and years of our lives. I'm incredibly proud and thankful for the message that was sent here today. The truth matters, and those who profit off of other people's pain and trauma will pay for what they have done. There will be more Alex Joneses in this world, but what they learned here today is that they absolutely will be held accountable.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hockley, and I actually wasn't going to speak today. I think I'm still in a little bit of shock. And in addition to the thanks that Robbie and Erica already shared, there is an additional bright spot. Just reconnecting with so many of these families again has been something that I'm going to miss tomorrow. I'm not going to miss not coming back to this courtroom, but I'm going to miss not being able to sit and talk with them. And I have always believed in the goodness of people. And when I first started engaging with followers of Alex Jones back in January 2013, I was looking for the good, and I didn't find it. And I gave up until I decided to fight. And today, with this jury, who I have so much gratitude for listening so attentively, for not just listening, for hearing us. I'm so grateful to them, and this is sending the right message that people are good and that good does prevail. And thank you for restoring my faith in people about that.
Good afternoon. My name's Bill Sherlock. My wife and Dawn Hochsprung were the first two people to approach the shooter that morning and paid for it with their lives as true first responders that had nothing at their side but their want to protect the kids and the staff. And I've come to know these people over almost 10 years. These beautiful people, they're good friends under the worst, most horrendous situation that you can imagine. And to belittle that horrific event is criminal in and of itself. We came in here with a default verdict, so we knew there would be some sort of statement coming out of this trial. Didn't know what it was going to be, but there would be a statement. And the jury today, and our thanks to them, came through and responded as we hoped they would for our entire community. And from a personal standpoint, what it does to me is it shows that the internet is not the wild, wild west, and that your actions have consequences. And for someone to stand in front of a camera, probably right now as we're speaking, to spew the lies, to enrich themselves, well, now there's a cost-benefit analysis that'll have to be done, because we've sent a response. We put a dose of civility into the society that we really need at this point in time. And going forward, because unfortunately there will be other horrific events like this, people like Alex Jones will have to rethink what they say, how they say it, how long they say it. And for those who want to be Alex Jones wannabes, this trial, this verdict, set a pretty high hurdle in cost in terms of what the cost would be to them to enter into that realm of lies and deceit. Again, my thanks to Koskoff Law Firm. This is just an unbelievable team. They become like family to us, and my entire family thanks them, and thanks the media coverage. Thank you very much.
Do a couple questions. Chris, Josh, bring it.
Josh and Chris, can you please give us a sense of the sweep of this? This could shut Alex Jones down. Is that what you want? Is that what you're thinking might happen? Just give us a sense of just the historic nature of this.
The family's objective in all of this, in all of it.
You are listening to the victims in the Sandy Hook shooting. He lost loved ones, and they've said they spoke the truth in this trial. Good does prevail. We're going to pause it there and take you right back to hear more from the victims.
It was a holiday parade that quickly turned tragic.
Evil has arrived, and it's shown what it can do.
Darrell Brooks is accused of killing 6 people when he drove his vehicle through a crowd of spectators.
In a surprising move, Brooks waived his right to an attorney and instead will be representing himself.
Our cameras will be inside the courtroom as a community searches for justice.
The deadly parade crash trial. Live coverage today, only on Court TV.
Credit card on Credit Karma.
15 plaintiffs have been awarded a total of $965 million against Alex Jones and his company for the defamation of the Sandy Hook shooting. Now these victims are outside of that courthouse. They've been speaking about this verdict. Also their attorneys. Let's go back to hear what the attorneys have to say.
Make clear to the world the harm and wreckage that lies like the ones he pushed can have. Not just on them, but on families like them, on the next families that have to deal with the unspeakable tragedy of a mass shooting. And so what we think is that this jury's verdict reflects their considered view of just how devastating his conduct was. And he has to bear the consequences of that. You know, we said in our closing argument that the spread of this lie, which reached upwards of 1 billion people we know, that was his doing. That's what he wanted. And so the jury's verdict should reflect that type of damage, and that's what we think happened. And so in that sense, we believe it is historic, and we are going to enforce this verdict. I want to make that very clear, that we are going to go to whatever forum we have to, whether it's in Texas or in bankruptcy court or right here. We are going to enforce this verdict as long as it takes, because that's what justice requires.
Chris, I was after bringing you guys to CNN. I have a question for the family member who wants to come forward. We watched you in that courtroom listen to that verdict. I saw David cry when Bill Oldenburg's numbers were called. I mean, the emotion you guys felt. Can someone step forward and just talk about that moment? How you guys were, just hugging each other, just what was going on in that moment for really you guys collectively as a family.
If anyone wants to, go ahead. If not, Francine, sure.
The families are the most important thing. That's how you get through this. And if, besides this amazing law firm, it's the families that have helped me come up every day. And when every name was called, it was a moment to send each and every person who has suffered the most horrible thing ever, the most love we can. Because that's what it is for me. And that's what it is for these families. We love each and every person, and we want each and every person to be recognized for the harm that's been done to them.
I know there's at the end of this, how likely is it that this will financially?
Well, one of the things that Alex Jones tried to do throughout this case was to hide his assets, to conceal from the court, from the jury, the true extent of his profits here. But we're going to find out. You know, one of the things that the bankruptcy court allows and the action we brought in Texas to go after his fraudulent transfer of assets is a lot of scrutiny on what assets he has, what he's transferred, and what is available. And so whatever is available, you can rest assured that we, as representatives of these families and the other families who have brought cases, will be coordinating to make sure that those assets are available for recovery to the victims of his offenses.
Last one or two, guys. It's been.
It doesn't surprise you guys that he was streaming verdicts and using it as fundraising efforts.
I mean, is anybody surprised at that? I mean, how many millions did Alex Jones make off a trial about Alex Jones making millions off of the backs of these devastated families? How many millions did he make off of this process? How many more millions? How much beet juice is he selling right now? How much bogus iodine supplements or whatever else he sells at great markup to his gullible listeners? It doesn't surprise me at all. And if this verdict shuts down Alex Jones, good. Does Alex Jones have a legitimate business going? Since 9/11, he's been walking in the shadow of death to try to profit from the backs of people who have just been devastated and uprooted. That is not a business model that should be sustainable in the United States of America.
Guys, last question. It's been a long day.
Tell folks what the next step is. I know punitive damages next month.
Right. So the next step of this proceeding is for Judge Bellis to consider punitive damages under Connecticut's Unfair Trade Practices Act. That's a decision for her to make. Those damages, if she awards them, will be on top of the jury's verdict here. And we'll be making a presentation to her over the course of the next month. Once that is concluded, whether there's an appeal or not, we will be active down in Texas in an action we brought to track any fraudulent transfers of assets he's made, and in bankruptcy court, where we are now very significant creditors of Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems, his business. So this is going to continue on. Hang on 1 second. But we will be at it as long as it takes. And if you're out there right now and you're one of Alex Jones's audience members and you're considering giving him money, I just want you to know that based on the jury's verdict today, it's not a very good bet. And to go back to what Robbie Parker said, all Alex Jones does is take from you, exploit you, lie to you, feed your fears and your anxieties and your mistrust. And the only person that benefits in that equation is him. Well, that stops. That's stopping today, thanks to the courage of these families. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Still with us, criminal defense attorney Sam Braverman. Sam, do you know, I know that this is definitely a historic day to have a $965 million award in a case like this for defamation. Do you know or think, is this possibly the largest award by a jury in a defamation case in the United States?
I've never heard of anything larger than that. And it was, as the last attorney was saying there, it's not just for Alex. It's also to make sure that anybody else who picks up the mantle and goes forward from there, or, for example, if Alex continues to do it, if somebody else puts him on their cable station, that they run risks. And those risks are future lawsuits against other entities, either other programs, other speakers, and other methods of distribution of the defamatory work that the jury found that Alex committed.
It definitely sends a message, for sure. All right, in the last 30 seconds or so, what is the likelihood, in your opinion and all your experience, that there's going to be any amount of this actually collected from Alex Jones or his company?
Well, one of the things we heard during the trial was whether or not Alex had secreted assets in other places with under other people's names. And that's in this case, that's now the job of the debt collectors, is to go unearth where he's made transfers. If transfers, and he filed a bankruptcy petition, the bankruptcy trustee can claw back various assets that have been transferred out in the past X number of years. So I think that that's what you're going to see. The next sport for this is going to be, where are the assets? And that'll take years. And if he was left penniless, whether it's 900 million or 200 million or 50 million, it's still, that's the job, to leave him penniless.
Absolutely. All right, Sam Braverman, thank you so much for your great analysis today.